More than one-third of adults in America are obese, and between 13 and 33% of children and adolescents are also obese. Obesity is a very common problem in the States. It is one of the hardest medical conditions to treat, but also one of the easiest medical conditions to recognize. It is a serious problem that needs to be addressed. I'm going to discuss the causes, consequences, and treatments of obesity. First, we're going to look at what obesity really is. Obesity can be defined as having an excess amount of body fat. To be considered obese, the primary symptom is that one will have a body mass index of 30 or higher. You can determine your body mass index by dividing your weight in kilograms by your height in meters squared. This is how doctors decide if one is obese or not. There are many factors that cause obesity. Inactivity is one of those factors. Lack of exercise and physical activity can ultimately lead to obesity. It is self-explanatory. If you are not an active person and live a sedentary lifestyle, your body is taking in more calories than it is burning, ultimately leading to excess body weight. Furthermore, having an unhealthy diet will also lead to obesity. Eating fatty foods too often or eating more calories than necessary for your body is not only unhealthy, but will cause the body to change for the worse. Having a good diet is extremely important when trying to avoid obesity. Lack of sleep can also cause obesity because it increases your appetite, which may cause one to overeat. It is important to get a sufficient amount of sleep in order to avoid this problem. Obesity can occur at any age, but as one gets older, there are hormonal changes that take place, and a person most likely has a less active lifestyle. Because this happens, as a person gets older, they must change their diet and watch what they eat in order to avoid weight gain. Overall, obesity is usually caused from a combination of these many different factors. Secondly, obesity is a scary complication and must be taken seriously. There are a ton of complications that come from having excess body weight. Unhealthy weight gain is responsible for over 300,000 deaths a year. Obesity has very serious consequences such as high blood pressure and heart disease. Obesity has also had a direct link to cancer and strokes. Type 2 diabetes is also a consequence that may come from excess body fat. Obesity can lead to sleep apnea, depression, gallbladder disease, infertility, and high cholesterol. It can also lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and osteoarthritis. Skin problems such as poor wound healing may also develop. Medical complications are not the only consequences of obesity. When you are obese, your quality of life may decrease tremendously. Obese people tend to not be able to participate in activities like other people, such as ride a roller coaster or sit in a seat comfortably on an airplane. Obese people may avoid public areas and could possibly face discrimination. When you're obese, you cannot participate in activities as easily as someone who is smaller and can move around easily. These problems may lead to depression, shame, and social isolation. These are all consequences of obesity and cannot be taken lightly. Lastly, how can we treat obesity? Losing weight is extremely difficult, but can be done if one is determined and sticks to the plan to lose weight. The first obvious treatment of obesity is to make changes in your diet. In order to lose weight, a person needs to limit calorie intake and eat nutritious foods such as fruits and vegetables, and limit fatty foods. Also, a person needs to exercise in order to lose weight. Losing weight is a long process, but is well worth it in the end if one wants to avoid many health problems. After losing the weight, one must be careful not to slip back into old habits, because gaining the weight back is much easier than losing it. Someone who is very obese can look into weight loss surgery, but after surgery one must maintain the weight by eating right and staying active. If you are obese, seeing a doctor is a good option to get more advice on how to escape obesity. As you can see, obesity is a very serious condition in America. There are many causes, such as having a bad diet or not exercising. It leads to other medical conditions such as heart disease and high blood pressure. In order to treat obesity, one must be dedicated to changing their diet and exercise more frequently. Obesity is a very serious problem that is affecting all ages across America. Obesity ultimately leads to death. Gaining weight is much easier than losing weight, so we should try and avoid becoming obese. We should take initiative before having excess body fat and having high activity levels and eating good portions of food. People should strive to live a healthy lifestyle in order to avoid becoming obese, in order to live a good mood, healthy, and happy life.